Loren had always been a little off. It wasn't just the way he avoided eye contact or his oddly specific obsession with Victorian-era footwear. It was the way he stared at people's feet, particularly their toes, as if they held some ancient secret he couldn't quite decipher. Living in a quiet, unassuming town didn't help. Loren was the kind of person who went unnoticed until he wanted to be noticed. Faith, on the other hand, was the polar opposite. Vibrant, full of life, and with an Instagram page that showcased her perfectly pedicured feet, among other glamorous lifestyle shots, she radiated confidence. Her followers loved her for her quirky toes series, which featured elaborate nail art and whimsical poses. What she didn't realize was that one follower, at toetruthlover90, was a little too invested. Faith first noticed Loren during one of her routine coffee runs. She had just posted a photo of her latest pedicure, a dazzling emerald green with tiny golden stars, and was scrolling through comments. Among the usual compliments and emojis, one caught her eye. Faith chuckled nervously. Weird, but harmless. Or so she thought. That's when she felt it. A gaze so intense it sent a shiver down her spine. She looked up and saw Loren, standing a few feet away, staring at her sandals. His lips curled into a peculiar smile, and his eyes darted back up to meet hers. Faith froze, clutching her coffee cup. Nice shoes, Loren muttered before quickly walking away. Faith shook off the encounter, but something about Loren's fixation stuck with her. Unbeknownst to Faith, Loren's fascination wasn't new. He had been following her online for months, meticulously cataloging every photo she posted. To him, her feet were a masterpiece, a culmination of symmetry, artistry, and divine inspiration. But Loren wasn't content with being a passive admirer. He needed to get closer. It started innocently enough. Loren began frequenting the same coffee shop, sitting at a table near the door where he could watch Faith come and go. He noticed patterns. The way she favored strappy sandals on sunny days, the slight skip in her step when she was in a good mood, the way her toes curled when she tapped them impatiently. Then came the comments. At first, they were subtle. Such a vibrant color choice. Matches your personality. Those toes deserve a museum exhibit. Ever considered foot modeling? You'd be a natural. Faith, uneasy but not yet alarmed, blocked the account. Loren was undeterred. He created new profiles, each more cryptic than the last. The turning point came on a rainy evening. Faith had just finished a yoga class and was walking to her car when she heard the faint sound of footsteps behind her. She quickened her pace, clutching her keys tightly. The night was unsettlingly quiet, like the calm before a storm. A soft wind rustled through the trees, whispering secrets that no one would ever understand. Inside the modest house on the edge of town, Faith sat by the window, her fingers wrapped tightly around a steaming cup of tea. Her eyes wandered to the streetlights flickering dimly in the distance, but her mind was somewhere else. Somewhere darker. The name alone sent a shiver down her spine. She hadn't seen him in weeks, but his presence still lingered like a bad odor, clinging to her thoughts even when she tried to escape him. It wasn't that Loren was inherently evil. No, that would have been too simple. Loren was a puzzle, a person wrapped in layers of confusion, obsession, and something far more sinister. Faith had met Loren during a time of vulnerability in her life. She had just moved into the quiet town, seeking refuge from the chaos of her past. She never expected to find anyone like Loren here, but there he was, unassuming at first, with his crooked smile and strange intensity. He had an odd way of looking at her, as if he could see straight through her, as if he knew every secret she held deep inside. It started innocently enough. They would talk, share a coffee, and exchange pleasantries. Loren seemed like just another neighbor, perhaps a bit eccentric, but harmless. That was until the strange gifts started appearing on her doorstep. At first, Faith thought it was a coincidence, an overzealous neighbor trying to be friendly. But the gifts didn't stop. They became more personal, more intimate. The first gift had been a small, delicate necklace, beautiful, but unsettling. The note that came with it was simple: "For your beauty, Loren." At first, she had brushed it off. Maybe it was just a kind gesture, she thought. But as time passed, the gifts grew stranger. A pair of old shoes appeared one morning, the leather worn and cracked, as if they had been in someone's possession for years. They were her size. There was no note this time, just the shoes left on her doorstep. Faith had been lying in bed one evening when the doorbell rang. When she opened it, there was nothing on the doorstep, only the faint scent of roses. She looked around, puzzled, but before she could close the door, she noticed something unusual. A small, neatly folded piece of paper lay at her feet. It was written in a shaky hand, the ink smudged in places. "Your toes are beautiful, Faith. I've watched you, admired you. Loren." Her heart skipped a beat. It was unsettling, but she told herself it was just a prank. But the next day, the doorbell rang again, and this time, there was no paper. Only a single, perfectly manicured toenail, lying in the center of the doorstep. Her mind raced. She tried to dismiss it as a joke, but deep down, she knew that Loren's obsession was far darker than she had ever imagined. "It sounds like you're referring to a dark, mysterious story." The title, "Creepy Loren Grabs Faith's Toes. The Big Sad News," suggests themes of obsession, secrets, and something twisted about fate. It could be a psychological thriller, a horror story, or a tale of personal torment. Here's a brief summary of what such a story could involve.